We are live. Rosie, time for you to share. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, with day 9 of the Real Talk, Alhamdulillah. Today we are going to be discussing Ramadan during COVID 19 and some strategies that you can take away, inshallah, to prepare for the holy month. So please do say hello and where you're joining us from. Alhamdulillah, as usual, we have the wonderful Rosaline Batul with us, who is a business coach and she helps sell high ticket offers.
And we are joined by Saika Riyad, the marriage mindset coach who helps married couples transform and thrive in their marriages and also helps support divorcees. So let's
Uh,
get started, Saika.
yes, started. Let's get the party started, Alhamdulillah. So,
Inshallah.
Rosaline, what have you prepared this year for Ramadan? How ready are you?
Okay, I'll
And
be completely honest with everyone. I am so like I didn't realize Ramadan would come this quick because being in isolation, you don't know what day it is, you don't know what time it is, you're just going with the flow, like the routine is all a mess. But for me personally, I only have one ultimate goal for Ramadan, and that is just to memorize one juz. So that's juz tabarak. That's all I want to do. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself this Ramadan because I did that last year and it went bust. So my ultimate goal is just to memorize a juz and then that's it. And then the little goals that I have in between that is just memorizing dhikrs, different types of du'as that I can make. And yeah, that's about it really. That's how much I've prepared so far, guys. I'll be totally honest with you.
Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were going into a bit of despair mode that, the masjids are closed, everything is closed, we're in lockdown, we can't have community iftars, we can't get together. How are we going to feel the essence of Ramadan when, we've got a lockdown going on in the whole world, subhanAllah. So I don't think it is necessarily about the lockdown. I was speaking to another friend the other day, and subhanAllah, you know, it actually is, it serves us in a very beneficial way that we're at home for once during Ramadan, because what's happening is it's testing our level of sincerity. Right, there's no night prayers, there's no masjid, there's no eating together, and it made me think, why am I feeling sad? Because I was a bit like this. I was like, subhanallah, what am I going to do every night? We were in a routine of going to the masjid and stuff. But however, really, should we be reliant upon somebody else to lead the salah, lead us in salah, lead us in prayer? Because why have I not memorized enough Quran myself that I'm able to
Thank you.
cope, even though and not be fully reliant upon somebody else? Because really, that responsibility is on us, right? That shows there's a shortcoming on us. So it's actually a perfect opportunity for you to really get, what is sincerity? What is ikhlas?
Yeah,
Ikhlas
exactly. It's like
means
it's being
you,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
go ahead,
being,
Rose.
being close, it's good. It's being close to Allah, guys. I understand that masjid. The masjid was our safety and our security.
Sanctuary, yeah.
Yeah, sanctuary for most people, and I totally understand that. We all get it, but like Cycle was saying, is about being sincere, and being in isolation is such a blessing, especially during Ramadan, because now you can figure out whether you're being sincere. So yeah, go on, Cycle. What you saying? What is sincerity?
What is sincerity? Sincerity is when your words and your actions match what you do publicly, also in private.
Exactly.
Ikhlas is something that is so pure that nothing can corrupt it. It doesn't matter whether the masjid is opened or closed.
Right.
Yes, it does make a huge difference. Yes, it has a great positive impact, the community feeling, eating together, etc. But really, if we're that sincere anyway, alhamdulillah,
It
why
doesn't
should it
matter where you are. Yeah.
yeah,
Why does it
just
affect?
sometimes going back to the basics, it is actually a really big bonus. Is because we haven't gone back to the basics for such a long time. We can focus on why haven't I memorized enough Quran myself? And
Mm.
one thing that I do, and I'll share with you, and normally I don't share this, but I have an intention list for fasting. Everything that you do in the month of Ramadan is quadrupled in reward, right?
That's yeah.
So, subhanAllah, you intend it consciously so that when you're doing the act of ibadah, you're doing the act of worship, you're your intention is you've intended that. So, for example, when you intend that, okay, tomorrow I'm going to keep a fast, I'm fasting, I'm doing it because, right, because my dua will be mustajaba, is going to be accepted, or I'm going to enter through Bab Rayan, one of the gates in Jannah, because my fasting is going to intercede for me, or it's because it's Allah's debt, it's got more right to be paid than any other debt,
Mm.
or because of the smell that will come out of my mouth is going to be better to Allah than the fragrance of musk. You have to actively think, why am I doing this? Go back and make an intention list of all the rewards that are linked in Ramadan, even the reward of doing wudu, the reward of reading the Quran. Go back to the originals, go back to the source and think that, you know what, subhanallah, why am I doing this? And when you consciously think about it and you do that, it increases your threshold and your sincerity for doing
Mm.
that act of worship. Walaikum salam, Badriya and Sarah. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining.
I want to add to that, Saika, as well. That guys, don't Ramadan is not a sprint. So a lot of us make the mistake that I'm gonna finish everything so quickly. I want to get everything done within 30 days, and then boom, that's it.
Yeah,
Go back to normal life. This is not a prison sentence. Ramadan is not a prison sentence where you
yeah,
are supposed to feel like, oh, I have to constrain myself, restrict myself for 30 days only, and that's the wrong intention to go in with for Ramadan. That okay, just for 30 days, I'm gonna be the best I can be, but then we don't think long term. So this is the
yeah,
reason why the Sahabas used to prepare for Ramadan 6 months before, because the mindset that you need to get into Ramadan so it doesn't feel like a prison sentence for you. And right now in isolation, a lot of us are going to feel the fast. We're going to feel it more, guys, now than before, because before we had distractions. We could go out, go like maybe go shopping to distract yourself. Maybe you can go see your friend. We can't do that anymore now. You have been forced into itikaf without your without your consent. We were forced into isolation, like confinement, because I feel like honestly what I feel like the old, like we all had a programming in our mind. I feel like that's been eradicated, and Allah is making us download something new, a new consciousness, which is to get sincere with yourself. Because a lot of us, we can show up online, we can show up in
yeah,
our friend's house acting like, oh my god, I go to the masjid and I pray, which is amazing, but how are
mm,
you at home? And this will
yeah,
test you.
definitely.
How are you in your business? How are you in your marriages? How are you with your kids? Really, that's the real test, because Ramadan is all about yourself. It's about fasting for the sake of Allah, but also about controlling your character and controlling your nafs and controlling your desires. And you will be tested, guys, in the next 30 days. We are going to be so tested because we can't drink, we can't eat. We're going to be at home looking at the fridge, guys.
No,
We
no,
can't
no.
escape
It's simply not,
it.
subhanAllah. You know what, subhanAllah. And that brings us on to the point that the purpose of Ramadan, hopefully, is to attain taqwa. Yeah, is to attain good
Yeah,
consciousness. Because what happens is you've got like a physical, initially in the beginning of Ramadan, you've got a physical battle inside of you. And your heart is now in charge. You're not going to eat till Maghrib. Your stomach might have an urge, you might get hungry. But what Allah has is actually better for us. It's like the command of the heart, the nafs, in a sense, is being made strong, and the urges are being weakened, subhanAllah. So now you're truly preparing yourself in
mm,
the real world. It's like, for example, when you have like the police, military, firemen, they have training, right? And when they train for their jobs, they don't go into a burning building straight away to train.
mm,
They do the training in like a mock exercise kind of format to
yeah,
get ready for the real time when they're gonna have the danger zone, right? So
mm,
this Ramadan, what it is essentially is we're practicing before the real enemy strikes. Is similar because 30 days Shaitan isn't here. And Allah allows us to train to get stronger and stronger. Now the
mm,
training's done inside the training camp, which is in effect Ramadan. The police officers are going to have to deal with the real dangers after. The firefighters are going to have to fight the real fire, just like we have to
mm,
fight, the real enemy. And our real battle is once that training's over. People make it
mm,
about a 30-day thing, but no, subhanAllah, the police officers are going to have to do that. And the point is that we guard and protect ourselves. We
mm,
make our hearts stronger in this month. We're
yeah,
given the institute of fasting, so the month of fasting to kind of fast track, right? So we can protect ourselves. Allah says,
yeah,
it is لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so you may attain taqwa.
Yeah, guys.
We have to protect ourselves. That's the point of it. That's the whole
Mm.
purpose of it,
And can I add
subhanallah.
something to that? That's why it's so important to have that mindset that this you're in it for the long run, not just for
Yes,
30 days. This is a
yeah,
long-term thing. Like whatever you learn about yourself in these 30 days, you need to carry that on. You're going to be you are more responsible now for you to carry that on throughout the whole year than just to restrict it to 30 days. And I've seen it, I like we all do, we all falter, we all fall back into our old ways, but make the intention that, you know what, I really want to improve myself. I want to work on myself, work on my resilience, because it's all about resilience, having the resilience to not eat, not drink. That's really what it is. The courage, the strength, like work on those muscles, which requires your mindset, requires you to be more intentional about what you're doing. And I have that mindset that, you know what, imagine what I could do in 30 days. If I can do this much in
yes.
30 days, and I'm on, and the reason why I'm so like I'm so what's that word, excited to do it or enthusiastic to do it, because I know I'm getting rewarded for it. Then imagine if you have that same kind of mindset when it comes after the 30 days are
The
over.
training is finished,
Yeah,
subhanallah. Yeah,
imagine that same intention. If you had to say, you know what can I do now to please Allah more now? Because there's no reason why you can only do it in Ramadan. And we all blame Shaitan because the devil was locked up, and now the devil's out. Let me go on. Let me just allow him to take over my life. No, if you build your, just like Psycho was saying, if you build your muscles, your mindset muscles, your resilience, your courage, your bravery, if you build that in 30 days, that you can use that as a shield after the 30 days are over, to shield yourself against all these, the desires and the nafs and the fitness that we deal with in the world. You can use, that's the whole point. Just, it's supposed to train you. It's supposed to gear you up and create a shield for you. So guys, don't allow yourself just to restrict it to 30 days only. Make sure that you have the long term goal in place as well.
Subhanallah, yeah, completely. Don't despair. And if we've got 30 days, alhamdulillah, remember how long does it take to actually form a habit? It
Yeah,
can
right.
really, it can really start something off as if you're consistent with it
Yeah.
afterwards. If you utilize it, you can really build some great habits from Ramadan. And don't fall into despair thinking, yeah, the masjid is closed, this is that, we're all
Yeah.
doomed and this is going to be awful. No, subhanallah, you can still cook food and give food, right? Yeah, you can't sit down and eat it together. You can still share the same reward of giving food, giving iftars, if that's what you do. You can still do your classes on Zoom. You can still attend. There's lots of free stuff going on as well, subhanallah. Like some masajids have organized, like I know Green Day Masjid have got like a regular tafsir session that one of
Mm,
the shuyukh are you doing, right? So you can still do the classes, whether paid or free, that's your choice. You can still pray Tarawih regardless of the masjid being closed, right?
yeah.
You can still, we're working on our own sincerity. And what we do
Mm,
in private is that's actually the real building muscle, isn't it?
exactly.
Because
It really
that's
is.
the hardest thing, doing it in private, because anybody can. It's easy to kind of
Do it in
join
front
in
of
the masjid
people.
and sit with
Yeah.
people and have them in the masjid give you an iftar, and you don't have to cook. Anyone can kind of do that. That's
Exactly.
easy, right?
Right. It's
The
so
real
easy for
test
us.
is when you're on your own, subhanAllah. That's what's going to increase our threshold of our sincerity. And really, everything we do, subhanAllah, it is for the sake of Allah. That's why we're doing it. The whole purpose of the fasting is not so we just don't eat food or drink and we're abstaining and our stomach is empty. But there's a greater purpose behind that, subhanAllah. It's to
Mm.
train our nafs, right? To really and yeah, Sarah says people have fancy iftars as well. Just go back to basics. If you
Have
eat
some
food
dates,
that is
guys.
good,
Dates and water. That's it.
yeah,
Just dates and water. Guys, you can survive on like one meal a day. I literally survive on one meal. I cannot
yeah,
eat. Like, guys, when I eat too much, I don't know how people eat 3 meals a day. I just can't do it.
uh,
Literally. I can't even have breakfast. I can't eat as soon as I wake up. I have to eat around one or two. That's just how normally I am. So for me, like obviously having the suhoor and then the iftar is like perfect for me. This is how, technically, guys, this is how we should be living anyway. We should be living like this, right? It's not really about the food and the water. It's just how you're living, how you're thinking. Most of us think with our eyes. When we see food, we just want more of it because our
yeah.
eyes are bigger than our
Or we
bellies.
got a habit of overeating,
Yes,
just eating
everyone
junk
has that
because
habit.
we've got everything available, right? You just buy it,
Yeah,
order it, and it's delivered to your door.
instant gratification, right?
Yeah,
And alhamdulillah, I'm so glad that instant gratification is done now for this month. I'm so glad it's like out of the way. Like you can't, you have to really focus, and you have to really be sincere, and you have to really like, you know, get back in line with like the deen. This is the real Ramadan. When you actually think of it, the real Ramadan is
Yes,
now in isolation.
the essence is of doing it alone at home,
Yeah.
properly, without showing anybody, without, doing it alone, really increasing that ikhlas and that connection between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can still do abundant amount of soul cleansing. You can do an
Mm.
abundant amount of good habit building and immense ibadah during the lockdown. We haven't been, subhanallah, the gates of Jannah. There's a quote that I read: the gates of Jannah, the masjid doors might be closed, but the gates
But
of
in case
Jannah
of Jannah,
are
not.
open,
Yeah,
right?
mashallah.
Subhanallah. So keep it simple. You don't need to do no lavish things, right? Keep it simple. Just
Yeah,
keeping your tongue
can I
moist with
ask,
adhkar
Saika?
during the day,
Like,
right?
let me ask, where did this lavishness come from? I'm just like really curious about it because I'm a very simple person, right? So when I see all this lavishness, you know, people they're like, it's like everything is just extra. If that makes sense, I understand because it's Ramadan. When it comes to ibadah, it's different. But, you know, with the food and the drink and all that stuff, I don't know where that came from. It's
I
just like
think we
everything is
live
so
we,
lavish.
we live in a culture of a lot of food being really like
Yeah,
massive. It's a massive thing to food. Like it's a in a way it can be
it's
a
good. It's
symbol
not a
of
bad thing.
glorification. Yeah, but
Yeah,
when it becomes excessive and your
which is
life
it does in
revolves around it,
Ramadan.
like
Yeah,
your life revolves around it, then it can be a big distraction because
yeah.
that's not the purpose of it to have lavish dinners and meals at the end of it. Yes, it's nice, but it's
Yeah, but
not.
that's not the essence. And I think people make it about the food. Like I know in my early days of being a Muslim, like when I was a Reva, Ramadan was about the food. I'm being honest, guys. It was like, yeah, you're gonna have these samosas and you're gonna have biryani and it's gonna be so nice. I was like, you're telling me the food, mate. You're not telling me why I'm
Yeah.
fasting.
What's the point of fasting? It's not the supposed to have
Yeah, like
food.
you get together, we all eat together, and we have dates, and it's just like everyone's talking about the food. Not in a bad way.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
saying
you
it's
know
a bad
what,
thing.
subhanAllah, I don't know about your culture, but like the Pakistani culture, they have got excessively oily stuff,
Mm.
and the sweet stuff is
Oh
really sweet.
yeah, I've
The
had that.
oily stuff is really oily, and there's not like it's difficult to maintain that balance. But
Mm.
really, just stick to simplicity, subhanAllah. Don't overburden yourself. Some people I know, many Ramadans before, at times, and you, especially in the last 10 days, you can make some food and freeze it. It's not all just about food. Make some food that is edible, and that you can freeze and you can easily just defrost it and do it rather than cooking
Yeah.
every single day. Lavish things. Jazakallah khair for joining, Khatija. So, Alhamdulillah. And this intention list, I've got it here with me, right? I haven't wrote
Mashallah.
this out. I know I've got it here, subhanAllah. So this intention list is something that I do, and I think it really serves me. It really helps me because you make a list of the rewards, and this is becoming trying to help you achieve sincerity. You write the intention list. Okay, so when I'm going to read the Quran, what am I going to get from? What am I wanting to get? What's my purpose of
Yeah.
reading the Quran? What am I doing? So you look at the ayahs and the evidence of the reward, and you
Mm.
link it, because you really want to maximize, innamal a'malu binniyah, we get what we intend. So
Yeah.
make thing really pure. When you read the Quran, you have the intention that Allah's gonna, raise my rank, subhanallah. Even the way to gain superior, I can't say superiority.
Superiority.
Yeah, is by one who knows Quran more. The intention for fasting, Allah says that He gives up His desire for my sake, right?
Yeah.
That could be, make a list for the reward for fasting, the reward for learning the Quran, make
Yeah.
a list for seeking knowledge. What's the reward, subhanallah, to polish your heart from hardening, so that the Quran is an intercessor for you. Get
Yeah.
back to basics. It doesn't have to be nothing lavish. When you're praying your salah, what's your intention? What's the reward for that? Subhanallah, you're showing gratitude. You're doing shukr, and you're using your physical faculties in the obedience of Allah, right? That
Mm.
could be your intention list for praying. If you're going to be giving charity, what's your intention? What do you hope to gain from giving that charity? What does Allah say about people who give charity? Who's going to give Allah a goodly loan? He will return it back to him and multiply it for him, subhanallah. So really getting back to these basics And when you're going to make dua, what's the intention for you making dua even? Like what?
Yeah.
Allah loves those who are the ones that put His trust in Him. And
Mm.
when you make a decision, you put your trust in Allah. All these other things you have to have, and making a timetable also helps if you can stick to it, right?
Yeah.
So this is really focus
So, yeah.
on the intention, and don't make it too much about the food and everything else. And what do you guys do in Ramadan? Tell us, what's your plan? Have you started preparing? Have you done your bulk shopping yet? Have you, how is your marriage going in Ramadan? Are you gonna, bite your tongue a bit more and learn to, be less angry with your spouse and get into less fights? What's going to happen? How are you going to manage your business and kind of balance that whilst
Mm.
taking maximum opportunity for utilizing the month, inshallah.
I think the main thing with Ramadan is you make the conscious decision that you're doing this for something, right? Because a lot, when we went to the masjids and stuff, and when we were out and about doing the things that were on autopilot, now we have to make conscious decisions and conscious intentions. Because the hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every man gets rewarded for his intention. So if a man intends to get married, he will get married. It's the same thing. If you intend that Allah, if I'm gonna fast and I'm gonna really focus on, drilling down on my goals, getting really intentional because I want your reward, you're gonna get that because that's what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. You get what you intend. So I think the main thing is that we have to make conscious decisions. Because most of us were not making conscious decisions before. We were just following the crowd, following what everyone's doing, going to the masjid. Everything was on autopilot. Now it's like you have to stick to your own schedule, make your own timetable. Figure out things for yourself. Because in isolation, obviously you can still listen to talks and you can still go online, but the main
Yeah,
thing is to make that conscious effort for yourself.
yeah, and that's where the real test is, isn't it? The real
Yeah,
test, like we said before, isn't with people, amongst people.
exactly. Yeah.
It's on our own. It's on
Mm,
our own that we discipline ourselves. We become acquainted with our bad habits. We acknowledge that there's room for improvement, and we try and replace things. And really, because the purpose of Ramadan is to attain taqwa and do things
exactly.
in accordance with that. And inshallah, once we do that and we do it with sincerity, um, why won't it? Allah will make it easy, and it
Exactly.
will
So
be that
So
sweetness
guys,
for us.
what are your goals for Ramadan? Just comment them below. Let us know your insights. How are you coping with the isolation with COVID? Because it looks like we're going to be in isolation till June, so we may not even have an Eid, like an Eid prayer, right? We won't be able to gather because I heard there's like a traffic light system. So by May 23rd, it'll be like red. We'll still be in the red zone, and then by June, we'll still be in the amber zone. I think it's the end of June, we'll be in the green zone where we're allowed to go back out and have community gatherings. So we probably will not have an Eid as well. So what have you guys planned? Give some share some insight. Maybe you can help someone as well. Maybe people are confused thinking, what do I do in Ramadan now? Can't
Yeah,
go to
and
the
it,
masjid. Can't
yeah,
be can't go to madrasa. There's like I can't have like Quran circles. There's no like fixed circles. Everything's online. And guys, when you're online, you get distracted. Come on, let's be honest. You
yeah.
go online,
There's
you
so
start
much online.
scrolling.
Yeah,
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 it's so much overwhelm online right now, especially in Ramadan. That when you're trying to figure out, okay, do I go to listen to this masjid? Do I listen to this talk? Where do I start? So maybe like give some ideas so everyone else can benefit, and
yeah.
let us know
What's
how
your
you're
goal?
balancing.
Yeah, subhanallah. And what is it that you want to do with the Quran? Are you more of a tafsir person? Are you
Yeah,
more of a person who likes to memorize? Are you
yeah,
more of a person who likes to just read?
yeah,
What is it? Which goal do you have that is going to be, you're going to be
yeah.
trying to bring
And
and
something,
maximize on that?
yeah, something that someone told me when I became a Muslim, they go in Ramadan like the first 10 days like it's like a slow walk, like you're slowly walking. Then the middle is like when you're picking up the pace, and then the last 10 days is a sprint. So treat it like that. In the first 10 days, if you're finding it difficult to schedule your time, the first 10 days, imagine you're walking, like you're just taking like a little walk in the park. How are you going to do that? How are you going to create that time? How are you going to be productive in the sense that that's the speed you're going to go at? So maybe you could just like focus on one surah and like maybe read an ayah with a tafsir just to get you into the practice of doing it after each salah. One thing that I did last Ramadan actually was after each salah I would sit down with the Quran and read two ayahs guys with the tafsir, and then that's it. Just to build up my momentum. Do you get me? Because you're building momentum, guys. You're not trying to sprint and think, oh my God, I'm just going to go all in now because we have the time, because you're going to burn out at the end and you're going to not want to like carry on with what you're doing. So the first 10 days, think of it as a walk. Then the next 10 days, the middle bit, take it as like you're, you're just lightly jogging. And then the last 10 days is when you sprint, is when you
Sprint,
think
yeah.
you built that momentum up.
Subhanallah.
Okay,
And
so
I
we're
think
getting a few answers. To be more productive. So I'm told, how will you be more productive? Give us an example.
what you're gonna do
Yeah.
differently to become more productive.
But Shia said, I have no plans yet. That's fine. Inshallah, maybe people can give you some ideas.
Yeah, and hopefully this live gives you some ideas as well.
Anas Skirat said, complete translation and explanation of a few surahs of the Quran. So let us know which surahs you want to complete as well. Like comment below the exact, guys. The more specific you are with your goals, the more likely you will achieve them. Because people, we say like vague, very vague goals. I'm just gonna read the Quran. Okay, which part?
Yeah, and
Because the whole
how
how
much time?
much?
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
now, have you broken it down? Because I think there's like you can break down the whole Quran in 30 days. It's like you have to read certain amount. But if you're like
is it
beginner
like four
level,
pages after every salah?
yeah,
Things like that. I've seen that message.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But if you're a
yeah,
beginner, like I'm still technically beginner. Like I consider myself a beginner still. So if you're a beginner, you reading the whole Quran is going to overwhelm you. There's no way you're going to do it because you still have to learn your tajweed and stuff. So ask yourself, according to the skills that you have right now, what can you do that's going to push you a little bit more in your deen. Is going to push you to be a bit better in your deen. Maybe you can learn tajweed, like learn the recitation of the Quran properly if you're a beginner. If you're an expert and you know how to read the Quran properly, then how are you going to utilize that time to read the Quran and understand it and implement it? Because remember, guys, whatever you do in Ramadan is all about implementation, not just about regurgitating or absorbing. It's all about implementing it in your life.
yeah. Alhamdulillah,
Someone
100%.
commented, Isa said, finish Surah Al-Baqarah already, and so I'm trying to read and pray to Hajj for 2 hours. Or is that every day? You can pray to,
Alhamdulillah. And yeah, because the night is really important as well in Ramadan. It's not
yeah,
just about the day. It's taking naps after Dhuhr time is that's also sunnah, something to do. And try
yeah,
and if you can't stay up the whole night, make it realistic for yourself where you can stay up for some time and then go to sleep. And it's really making them small changes. And when you think, okay, what do I do now? Just keeping it simple, keeping your tongue moist with liquor and adhkar.
yeah,
And there's so many, subhanAllah,
yeah,
so many of
guys,
them, and their own
yeah.
virtues. If you're like, what, I need a break, I'm gonna just, oh, this is too much, or I'm tired, or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Just keep your tongue moist, subhanAllah. And
exactly. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Like these dhikr is sweet. It's so much to Allah. It means so much to Allah. Allah like rewards you tenfold. And imagine Ramadan, your rewards are multiplied. So
yeah,
if you find yourself, because we're all gonna get tired, we're all gonna feel frustrated. But let's
yeah,
be honest, like come on, like we're humans. We're gonna get annoyed, especially when you got kids, yeah, or you're at home with your parents and you have nowhere to go. You can't leave. You're gonna get frustrated, guys, right? So let's be honest with each other. How are you going to manage those time when you're feeling so tired, so burnt out, so annoyed? How are you going to manage that? You have to, it's called risk assessments. How have you done your risk assessments? Okay, if things don't work out this way, if I'm finding it too difficult, what am I going to do instead? Because you always have
yeah,
to find an alternative. Otherwise, guys, you're just going to like scroll through Instagram and waste your time in
yeah,
Ramadan,
yeah. So have a
right?
plan B in
Have a
place.
plan B, yeah, where
Yeah,
according to your risks, that if you know you are a time waster and you love wasting time, a lot of us do that. When we're bored, we just waste time. We want the
yeah,
time to go quickly. So you need to figure out a way, that a thing that you can schedule in when you have that feeling to waste time, like go on Snapchat, scroll through Instagram, comment on someone's post when it's not even beneficial. Have like a little reminder. Okay, instead of doing that, I'm going to do this. And the more you exercise that, the more you practice it, the more likely it will become a habit. Because if they say it takes 21 days, or does it take 60 days now?
I think it's
Scientists are,
21 days. 21 days
yeah,
to form a
21
habit.
days to form a
Really.
habit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah.
So, guys, do risk assessments. If you know you are a lazy person and you procrastinate, then figure out a way that you're going to use that time in Ramadan to do the opposite. And it may be just one small thing, like, okay, I'm just going to do my 33, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. For some people, procrastinate, that's hard. So,
Yeah, that
have
is.
have have something in place for both sides. Like when you are not feeling your best, when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling like you just can't do it. Have something that you can do that's very simple, very light, that's not going to make you
Easy.
feel like you're
Yeah,
overwhelmed. Yeah,
don't just start doing nothing. Make it light and simple and easy for yourself,
yeah,
rather than
exactly.
doing nothing at all. That
Thank
much big.
you.
Yeah,
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 because a
yeah,
lot of us will do that, and I did that. I make that mistake all the time. Like when you feel like you can't because you haven't planned it in your head, guys. Remember, we are habitual beings, meaning we need
yes,
to create habits. The only way that we can survive, everything around you is just a habit. Everything that you do is a habit, right? The only way that you're going to survive in Ramadan is when you create the right habits. And it also means to have,
well,
take like, you know what you should do?
yeah,
Like just have an overview of your life so far. How has it been during isolation? Have you been binge eating? Have you been exercising? How have you been during isolation? And how can you change that during Ramadan? That way you're going to be more productive rather than just thinking, okay, let me just figure out something to do and then not stick to it.
yeah. True, true. It has to be realistic and practical, and yeah, and it's really about utilizing the time that you have, inshallah. And habit is created by discipline and
Yeah,
kind of training yourself. And this is what this month is doing. Really, it's training on us. Alhamdulillah.
yeah.
So
So guys,
don't.
we have
Yeah,
5 minutes left, inshallah, before Maghrib. So let us know if you have any questions about, Ramadan, about goal setting. Give some ideas. What you're going to do in Ramadan? If you're a mother, what you
yeah.
planning with your
What kind
kids?
of food are you gonna make and
Yeah,
stuff like? What do you
exactly.
eat for sahur, Rose?
I just have porridge. I have porridge with
Sorry. Yeah,
dates. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Subhanallah,
porridge with
nice
dates
and
and loads of
simple.
water.
A
Lots
lot
of
of
water.
water. Yeah, I was just gonna
Like
say that.
at
That is
least, like guys, this is like my thingy desk. I just have these 2 bottles, and I'll try and drink like, yeah, 3 liters at least for the whole day.
subhanallah.
So drink water, stay healthy. Like, I know, sometimes you can create like little WhatsApp groups with your friends just so that, push each other. You need
Yeah,
accountability, right? So
definitely,
having someone hold you accountable, maybe have like a WhatsApp group with your sisters or your brothers and like say, you know what, guys, let's, hold ourselves accountable so that, when we do falter, we'll feel bad about it. So to let people know what your goals are in Ramadan so that people can hold you accountable.
yeah, and how noble is it that subhanAllah, if we sat with our own family members, or if we can't sit with them over Zoom or wherever, Skype or WhatsApp, right? And we went through the Quran, how amazing would that be where you're doing it
I
together as a
know.
family still.
That
Even
was so
if
nice.
it's 15, 20 minutes, subhanAllah, that would be
Yeah.
like a dream come true, right?
Yeah, like one of my goals with my kids is to actually sit down. Cause we used to do this like last 2 years ago. I used to sit down
Mm,
with with Yaqub, my eldest, and I used to do prophet stories with him. And he, guys, like mashallah, my son, he's like an encyclopedia when it comes to prophet stories. So I want to do that again, but with my daughters now, because that my daughter is 4. So I want to sit down with her, do like 5, 10 minutes of prophet stories so that they can learn it. So that's one of my goals, is to have more family time. Um,
yeah, definitely. And that's the Rabia, isn't it, with the kids?
Yeah. Mama's part said complete recitation of the entire Quran, plus read his 15 in translation of it. I don't know what you mean, but at least do my sunnah salah. Yes. Engage in tazkiyah before Fajr time. Yes. Starting from the last juz. Ukti Azar said the best advice I give myself is start early before Ramadan, and then that way we can finish reading it early. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
So it's only like we don't know. Is it going to be on Thursday, Wednesday? Inshallah, we'll find out only. So
so
please don't do no moon
exciting.
fight. Yeah, don't do no moon fighting
Oh
game.
God, the moon wars, guys. The moon wars. I'm in
Yeah,
Preston, guys. Like, come on, the moon wars always happen here. Like, we'll have guys. We in Preston, yeah. We have 4 masjids. Like, mashallah, I love my town. We have 4 masjids there, and because one masjid is doing Ramadan and that day, they go, we're not going to do Ramadan the same day as that masjid. We're going to do the next day just to go against that masjid. That's just what goes on here. I don't understand the
yeah,
concept of it. It's like we should all just come together.
yeah,
Sabra's reflexology said, I want to thank you both for all this information that I didn't know. My intention is to learn the Arabic to understand what I'm reading as I read Quran. MashaAllah, may Allah make you a success, Ameen. And may Allah allow you to learn the language easily, Ameen. Because Arabic language, trust me, guys, it's hard. But you can do it.
it's not that hard. Don't put them off.
How?
You're supposed to encourage them. No,
No, it
Arabic
is.
language. The
It's
grammar bit
hard.
is hard.
I'm
The
being
grammar
honest.
bit,
Guys, I
yes,
went
the
to
grammar
Egypt.
bit.
I studied. I
No,
went to Ibana. Has anyone been to Ibana? I was at Ibana. I was at Tamhidi, man. Guys, Tamhidi was hard. The stuff that I was learning at Tamhidi level, I was just like raw. But I'm saying that to learn the Quran is easy. To do that and like Alif Bata, that's very easy. But when it comes to the grammar and putting it all together, it can be difficult. Especially if you're a kinesthetic person. I find people who are visual and they love reading, no, not love reading, more visual, they pick you up quicker. Um, how should we self-discipline ourselves? I think we're in self-discipline already. isolation has forced us to self-discipline. So I would say to
Habits,
you,
building them habits and
yeah, getting rid of
put
distractions.
rituals in place. That's what distinguishes a successful day with one that's just,
Yeah.
not really productive. So
I
it's
like,
making them habits and
yeah.
nurturing them until they become quite solid, really,
And
and
like
make it
Saika said,
really small
yeah.
steps.
Like Saika said in our previous live yesterday, like say do it now. Just say do it now to yourself. If you want, guys, subhanallah, if you end up waking up at the Hajj time, just say do it now and get up. Because sometimes we just wake up in the middle of the night and then some of us just force ourselves to go back to sleep. Make the
Yeah,
intention that I'm gonna go get up, make wudu, and just pray tahajjud, and just have it in your mind. Do it now. And guys, one tip I really want to give you, like this is something that has always helped me. When I make the intention, I say to Allah, Allah, please wake me up for Fajr or for Tahajjud. It always happens. So ask Allah to wake you up. Ask
yeah,
Allah to
and
help
sleeping
you.
in a state of wudu as well,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
you're physically preparing yourself that what I am gonna get up in the morning, inshallah, and get up for suhoor, and subhanallah, and all
Yeah.
that.
So make the intention, guys. So I think that's it for now. Inshallah. I'm going to go pray
Yeah,
Maghrib. Maghrib has come in. But
alhamdulillah. If
guys,
you
it
have
was
any
lovely speaking
questions,
to you.
yes, yeah,
Yes. If you have
definitely.
any If you
Go
have
on.
any, we were just talking. If you have any questions, feel free to DM us. And please share this. If you found it beneficial, please share it with your friends and family. The more people that see this, the more benefit there is, the more reward there is. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, Saika, 7 p.m.
Inshallah, we'll be back tomorrow just after 7 o'clock. And if you've got any other queries or anything you're worried about and you don't want to say it in the comments, then like
Yes.
just DM us, inshallah, and we will give you our support wherever needed. So we've got about how many
Walaikum
questions
salam.
have we got left? We've got about
You're 10, 11.
we've got
Oh
about
no.
20 more, not 10. Why have you halved the number for?
I don't know, guys. I don't know what day we're on. I don't know what day
SubhanAllah.
it is. It's Monday. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Monday, guys.
it's Monday, but day 9 or 10, I'm sure, of real talk, subhanAllah, that we've
I think
actually
it's
done
day
together.
10.
Yeah, and you need to tell us some more topics. We want to hear what each
Yeah,
other,
guys, tell us the
because
topics.
otherwise we'll choose them, and we want to make them for you, and you really utilize them and maximize from them, inshallah. So there's no questions
Inshallah.
on Facebook either. So please, yeah, join us tomorrow, same time, inshallah. And let us know your questions, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this Ramadan and make us amongst them people who are
Ameen.
able to protect ourselves inside and outside of Ramadan, both in public and in private, inshallah.
Ameen. Take care, guys. Salam alaikum.